So we're back with another email question here. This time it's from Tony, and he sent one in to the podcast, and he says, I'm 50 years old, would like to retire before I'm 60. All right, so he's got a 10-year window here.
Yeah.
I'm willing to save aggressively to make that happen, Charles. How much do you determine you need to save for something like that each month? So I know there's a lot of specifics, but let's just kind of ballpark it for folks.
Well, how much you save is going to depend on how much you spend. What are your expenses going to be? I would start there, figure that out. Have a plan of how you're going to spend the money. People call it a budget. I don't like the word budget. It's a spending plan.
Yeah.
What are all the things you're going to spend on? What are you going to do? What do you have to do? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
What are the fun things you want to do?
The necessities, and then
work backwards from there.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a much greater sense of, okay, so over the next 10 years, this is therefore how much I have to set aside. Mm-hmm. Given some factor then also of it will grow some, how much do I need it to grow to get to where I want to go?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. The other thing I would say that's a non-financial issue is take a calendar month, just a blank month of the calendar.
All right.
And I've said this before, but this is, when people do this, it really wakens them up to what their days are going to look like going forward. So you've got 30 plus days of the calendar. Now, each day, draw 2 horizontal lines through the little square that is the day of that on a big enough calendar. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you've got a morning, afternoon, and evening.
Okay, so 3 sections.
3 sections per day for a whole month. What are you going to do in the first section, the second section, and the third section?
How are you just normal stuff, normal things you're going to do.
Yeah. What now that you're not working, what are you going to do?
Okay.
So when you're working, your morning and afternoon are usually taken care of.
Sure. Yeah.
On the weekends, then you get to pick. Now for this, you've got 30 plus days a month to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So take the time to draw the horizontal lines and write down, what am I going to do? I'm going to work out. Okay, great. Every day, in the afternoon, in the morning. That's not the whole morning.
Right.
I'm going to go bike riding. I'm going to, I don't know. I'm going to read. I'm going to volunteer. I don't know. That's your life.
Right. But some of those things are going to cost money and some are not.
Some of them are. That's exactly right. And from that, then you'll be able to piece together what's the cost of doing all of these things. I want to travel like crazy. Okay, then figure out how much it's going to cost.
Yeah.
And
he's talking about 60. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Charles.
No. And then you back out the how much do I have to save?
Yeah.
Because you got to know how much you're going to spend.
Well, and he's talking about wanting to retire at 60. And so now you've got to factor in the fact, what's your medical conversation looking like from 60 to 65, right?
Yeah. There's all of those other things too. Yeah.
That could seriously change that how aggressively do I need to save conversation. Because if you're not going to have any medical coverage for 5 years and you're paying out of pocket, that's going to jack that up pretty good.
Cross your fingers and hope nothing bad happens.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Charles and I are members of a very special club, and we can tell you that it's not a lot of fun. So you don't want to go that route.
This is true.
Yeah.
But it's a good question, Tony. I mean, it's a good question because you're trying to figure out, okay, I really want to do this. Great.
Yeah, for sure.
Work backwards.
So there you go. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We certainly appreciate it. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. And ring the little notification bell and get new episodes when they come out and all that good jazz. And we'll see you next time here on Financial Choices Matter with Charles Scott.
Ready to learn more? Get a complimentary review of your retirement landscape today. Reach out to Charles and Sherry at Pelleton Capital. Don't wait and let time pass you by. Sit down and build a rock-solid strategy that keeps the focus on you and your family. Visit Pelleton Capital or click the link in the show description. And don't forget to subscribe to Financial Choices Matter on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube.
Financial planning and investment advisory services are provided by Pelleton Capital Management Limited, a state-registered investment advisor. Past performance is not indicative of future results. No one should assume the information presented here serves as a receipt of or substitute for personalized individual advice provided by Pelleton Capital Management. For more information, visit www.pelletoncapital.com.